Can you clap for Jason, please?
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. This winter has been an exceptionally long winter, so I have had a lot of time to do research, and I have a confession. The gold fever shows, so-called kind of documentary / reality gold fever shows, have gotten to me. And I look at these things and I say, you know, surely I could do a better job. If I had some people with their heads screwed on right, we could find some gold. Can't be that hard. So I've been looking through YouTube, Google Maps, reading all sorts of books, thinking about stuff, book full of diagrams, and my wife says, you're just an armchair gold miner. So let me explain to you some of the things that I've learned. I'd like to start here at Prospector's Point near Devon. And you can go there today and pan some river gravels and find a little bit of gold. This gold, though, is not nuggets. This gold is really fine gold, which we call flour gold. And it will actually pass through a 100-screen mesh, which is 3 times as finer than this mesh. This is about the mesh from a grease damper for the stove. It'll be about 30 mesh. So I'd like to start our adventure here. And if we want to find the big material, we're going to have to go back up this river towards the source. So let's learn about the source. Well, to understand this, we need to know that the gold, from what I understand, comes from within the earth. There's tremendous temperatures, tremendous pressures from within the earth, and pressures that are moving outwards. Now, gold likes to collect in any sort of crack, fault, crevice, fissure within the earth. There will be mineral-rich solutions that are moving upwards, and as they move upwards and pressures change, the composition of the fluid changes, gold is going to deposit in traps along that fissure. As likewise here in these fault lines around volcanoes. So primarily to find low deposits of gold, you should understand where the faults are, where the volcanoes are. That's why everybody's interested in the rim of fire around the Pacific, and any place where tectonic plates move on the earth and intersect. Let's just focus in on one of these veins. And we're so lucky that we found it. We'll have a vein structure here that someplace out there is being exposed to atmosphere. So the host rock, typically quartz, is being eroded, and the gold is being, because of the weather and the rain and erosion, is slowly being transported down the hill in a fan-shaped pattern, and eventually gets into the river. This is what we call stream placer. And that gold, through floods and whatnot, will eventually make its way down to Devon. Now, as a prospector, we need to understand where does the gold go when it travels in the river. So here's the vein that we found. And erosion is going to depositing gold in the river. Gold is heavy, it's very stubborn, it doesn't like to change its mind. So once the water is propelling it through the river, it's very content to stay going straight. That's why it will move in a straight line fashion and deposit where the river turns, because the current is now slower, gold is heavy, it's going to drop out and deposit on these sandbars on the inside bends of rivers. Next flood comes, gold gets pushed a little further on, makes it that far, drops out again. Till eventually it works its way down towards Devon, and it's been beat up pretty bad, so it's really small. So I would want to take some samples around these inside bends, or anywhere where there's eddies, where the current slows down. Boulders, some sort of formation that makes an eddy, etc. I didn't realize how heavy gold was. Gold, if you had a meter cubed of gold, roughly something like that, it would weigh over 19,000 kilograms, which is good because we can use this to classify gold and separate it using gravity methods. One key thing I learned, totally over my wife's head, is that for me to get this very fine gold, it needs to be screened so that the smallest particle of gold is heavier than the smallest particle, the biggest particle of rock. So I think I have to screen my material to about 90 to 100 mesh to have a good recovery. In the old days, they were very creative. This gentleman has a wheelbarrow with his feedstock. He's washing it down with water onto a grizzly, which is a classifier, and getting the gold that comes out of his sluice box. In 1894, well, these guys had some coffee. They thought of an even better idea. What if we have a steam shovel, shovel the gravel into a car, winch it up to here, and dump it into a sluice? Again, the sluice is what's important to recover that gold. Now these ones beat them. They have a bucket elevator conveyor, conveying material into a rotary screen, which is like a trommel, and the fines from that screen are being put down a sluice box. And because of the volume these things could put through, this is one of the reasons why you can't find much gold in the Edmonton River Valley. It's been taken. We have to wait a long time for it to build up. We really like to look at these sandbars and things after a flood or at low water times, in the fall or in the spring when the ice gets out. Now, a gentleman who is on a forum I belong to learn more from this interesting community of gold miners and prospectors mentions that he thinks he could probably get about half a gram of gold in a good spot. Well, I got thinking about that. To get an ounce of gold, I need 2,500 5-gallon pails. And I have to dig it by hand. So that's 93% of the volume of my living room. So this is not a get-rich-quick scheme in the Edmonton River Valley. A report by Hofferdahl found a little better, well, even worse rates near Smoky Lake, and I would have to dig my living room and then some. So it's time for me to get off my duff and get out there. And where's the gold? It's where you find it. And when my wife says, "Where's the ring?" I'll say, "You have to wait for it."